Hey y'all, and welcome to Kitchen Notes from Nancy. If you're new here, I'd like to welcome you to our neighborhood, and I encourage you to subscribe before you leave, and also hit the notification bell so you can be notified whenever I post a video. If you are a returning subscriber, I'd like to greet you with the customary, hey neighbor! On tonight's episode of Quarantine and Cook, we will be making a super easy but super flavorful spaghetti with meat sauce. So if you're interested in seeing my take on this super classic dish, stay tuned. Okay guys, this is day 2 of my quarantine here, and so I decided to do a quick meal today. So if you're looking at the ingredients, you probably already guessed what I am making. I'm making some quick and easy spaghetti tonight. So not only during the time of quarantine is this meal easy, this is a really quick and easy weeknight meal. So real quick, I'm gonna go over what I am going to use. I am using a jarred pasta sauce that I'm gonna zhuzh up a little bit, diced tomatoes, tomato sauce, canned mushrooms. Like I said, this is during the quarantine or when we're not supposed to be outside. So I bought a lot of canned things so I wouldn't have to worry about so many fresh things spoiling and me not being able to go out and get them. I like the half-length spaghetti. It's already cut for me so I don't have to break it. We're using a pound of ground beef. And then in addition to that, we are using some mild Italian sausage that we're going to take out of the casing. We have Italian seasoning, garlic powder, onion powder, black pepper, and also salt, along with onion, bell pepper, and garlic. So without further ado, I'm going to hop right into the video. And also remember, I always post the ingredients in the bottom bar. So let's hop into it. So the first thing I'm going to do is fill up a boiler with water. And I'm actually going to put about 8 cups of water in here for my spaghetti. So that was 4 cups. And I'm going to go ahead and turn that on medium heat. And while I wait for the water to fill back up in the measuring cup, I'm going to go ahead and salt this water. You want to make sure you, hold on one second. The Himalayan salt doesn't have those anti-clumping agents, so sometimes it'll clump up on you. You want to make sure that you salt your water and make sure that you go ahead and start injecting some flavor into that pasta. Now that the measuring cup is full, I'm going to go ahead and add the other 4 cups of water. And we're going to bring that to a boil while we work on our meat sauce. I'm going to go ahead and turn the stove on a medium heat. And I'm going to take some olive oil, just a little bit, and kind of cover the bottom of the pan. And that's just because the ground beef, this ground beef typically doesn't have a lot of oil in it, a lot of fat in it. So I'm going to put the olive oil in it to help it. But anything extra, or if it's too much, we're just going to drain it before we make our sauce. So I'm going to let that heat up for just a quick second. We're gonna go ahead and put the meat in, and just so you can see, I took the casing off of the meat, and so I just split it down and took the casing off of the sausages, and so they're going to behave just like the ground beef would now because they're no longer in that casing. So we're gonna go ahead and put the sausage and ground beef into the pan. And we'll let it start searing. And for the meat, I just use my spoon to just break it up. because you want little bitty small pieces. You don't want big hunks of meat. in your meat sauce. So because this is not spaghetti and meatballs, it's spaghetti and meat sauce. So as it cooks, I'll just continue to break down the chunks of meat. Okay, so now that this has started to brown up a little bit, we're gonna start seasoning it. I cut up half of an onion and a little piece of that bell pepper, and also a friendly tip that can help you whenever, but especially right now during the quarantine. This bell pepper was fresh bell pepper that I just froze, and then I have celery in there as well. So if you want to preserve your produce, stop it from going bad, you literally can just freeze it and thaw it out, especially if you're going to be using it in a cooked dish. You know, I couldn't use this in something that needed fresh bell pepper, but if it's going to be a cooked dish, it's no problem at all. So I'm going to go ahead and add in the bell pepper and onion. And you can use any color bell pepper you want. I just prefer to use the green ones. That's what I use most when I'm cooking. So, you know, that's what I typically have in the house. But it's completely up to you. Now we're going to go in with some seasoning. So I'm going to start with some salt. And I'm just using the pink Himalayan salt that I always use. I'm going in with some black pepper. Some onion powder. Even though I use fresh onion, I like to use onion powder. It just kind of amps up the flavor a little bit. Garlic powder. So I'll also be using garlic in here shortly. And then Italian seasonings. And this is just oregano, basil, marjoram, sage, and organic garlic. You can get it anywhere. I just use the, it's not gonna focus. I just use the organic Walmart version, Great Value version, but you know, you can use any Italian seasoning that you want. I just like the Walmart organic ones, partially because they come in a square bottle. But that's neither here nor there. It's just how I organize my spices, so it makes it a little bit easier. So we're gonna go ahead and kind of get this in here, mix those spices up, and I am going to break up this meat just a little bit more. I forgot, for the person that hates me using metal things on the metal pot, I'm gonna break up the meat just a bit more, and I'll keep doing this process even after it's done until I get the pieces as small as I want it. They do have this little black contraption thing that I see a lot of people use, little meat kind of cutter, divider, upper thing, but I mean, honestly, my spoon and spatulas are okay. Maybe one day I'll get one, but I've been doing it like this for a while, so, you know. No need in fixing it if it's not broken. Alright, now I'm gonna go ahead and add in some garlic. That's probably about a clove worth if you're using fresh garlic. Come on, give that a mix. Alright, so now that the meat is done, I'm going to turn it down to low, and I'm going to drain this grease. There's not a lot of oil or grease in the bottom, but I am going to drain it off just because I don't want an oily sauce. And then we're going to come back and make up our sauce. So now that all of the oil is out of the pan, it's time for us to start making our sauce. So I'm going to start with the jar of sauce, and I just like to use the Prego flavored with meat. And that's because I add stuff to it. You can use whatever you want to. If you like to use Ragu, Prego, Great Value, it doesn't matter. Hunt, whatever. Now, I'm going to show you a little secret. You see all that sauce that's still left in that container? I'm going to show you how to get it out. You go over to your sink and you add, I added maybe almost a half a jar of water, a little less than half. And you just give it a good shake. Now, you take that and you just add it to your sauce. And you got all of that sauce out of that container. I don't believe in wasting, you know, too much of anything. And we're gonna leave this sauce open, so it's not gonna be watery, it's not gonna be runny, it's going to be fine. All right, so now I'm going to open the mushrooms and drain them. If you wanted to use fresh mushrooms, you could, but like I said, because of the quarantine, I decided to buy canned mushrooms because I wasn't sure when I was going to be making spaghetti or how long we were going to be here. So I just drained those mushrooms. Now I'm going to add them to the sauce. And if they were fresh mushrooms, you could have put them in when you were sauteing the meat. That would have been fine. Alright, so I'm gonna turn it up a little bit to medium so this can start to come together. Also going to be adding in a can of diced tomatoes. I'm gonna tell you something that's really, really good. If you like the fire roasted tomatoes, they're really good in this sauce. And I had taken out another can of tomato sauce, but honestly, I don't think I need it. If I had a little bit of tomato paste, I would put some tomato paste in here, but I don't have a can. I would use probably about a half a can of tomato paste or so. So real quick, I'm going to taste the sauce so I can adjust the seasonings if need be. So with that little quick taste, I feel like I need some more Italian seasoning. I feel like I need more onion powder. You know what? That's just a little bit left, so we're gonna put all of that in there because I have a new one. We're going to put some garlic powder, more black pepper. I'm basically hitting it with everything that you saw me hit it with originally. And some salt. So we're gonna give it a quick stir. So I'm gonna take a different spoon and we're gonna see how those additional spices helped it out. Yes, that's what I want. Now, I have a little bitty secret. I have a secret component that I like to add to my pasta sauce, and that is grated Parmesan. Grated Parmesan just takes it up a level to me. I don't know, I just like the way it tastes, and I would add it to the top of the spaghetti when I'm done as well. But I'm just gonna add a good little bit of Parmesan to the sauce. And honestly, there's nothing complex about this. The good thing about spaghetti, or the best thing about spaghetti, is you can get as complex as you want. You can keep it as simple as you want. It's really just kind of up to you. So at this point, I'm going to put the top on this, and I'm gonna let it simmer for about 20 minutes or so. And during that time, we're going to cook the spaghetti, because I'm one of those people, I like to combine my spaghetti, so I like to mix it all up and put it in one pot. So I'm gonna let this sauce simmer for a while, and then we're gonna go over and put the spaghetti in the pot. So I hope you can see, but this is boiling. It looks like the camera's picking it up. So this is a pound of the half-length spaghetti. That's what I'm using. And again, the water is already salted. And I'm just going to take it and dump it in. Now, when you're cooking spaghetti, I like to take a fork, especially when you initially put it in and you want to kind of keep it moving, because if you don't, it will clump up. It'll stick to itself. So you want to keep it moving, and we're going to check it ever so often to make sure that the noodles aren't sticking. And you could put oil in the water if you want to, but if you put oil in the water, the noodles are going to the noodles won't hold the sauce, because the oil is going to make them slick. So if you're one of those people who doesn't like to mix your spaghetti, and you just like to put the sauce on top of it, then you can add a little oil to yours. That'll be fine. That'll stop the noodles from clumping together. But if you're one of those people that's like me, I like to mix it all together in one pot, then you're gonna want to avoid the oil so that they won't stick. I mean, you're gonna want to avoid the oil so that the pasta sauce will stick. All right, so I am going to let that come back to a boil and clean up a little bit while that sauce is simmering. All right, so the pasta is done. I'm about to drain it in the sink. So I just used my colander to drain it, and then put it right back in this pan. Now, I am going to go ahead and take the sauce that we worked on and add it slowly. Ooh, we're gonna try not to splash it everywhere, y'all. To the pot. And if you're wondering, if you can hear that sound in the background and wondering what it is actually my Ninja Foodie, and the Foodie is doing our garlic toast. And I'll have a video coming tomorrow using the Ninja Foodie, and I'm going to show you how to air fry the perfect crispy chicken using it. I've had it for about 3 days and I absolutely love it. I think I've used it every day that I've had it, and I keep finding different ways to use it. I actually could have used it to make this dish tonight, but I've never really been a fan of using my Instant Pot like that. So maybe one day I'll do some Ninja Foodie spaghetti, but it wasn't tonight. So y'all, this is my quick and easy quarantine meal. Again, spaghetti can be as complex as you want it, or as simple as you want it. It is strictly up to you. And so until next time, I'll talk to y'all later.